Hello there, Rabbi.
Joe, what are you doing?
I find we live in a toxic environment, and these days, from what you see on the news and what you hear everywhere you go, it seems safer to protect yourself, or at least take this perspective. But let me, attractive as that look is on me, what is it about what's going on in society today that everybody seems to take interest in the negative?
What triggered this was an article I read about reasons why you shouldn't live in an over 55 community, which happens to be where I live. And the negatives that this person was presenting were my positives. This is why I'm here. And as I thought about it, I remembered other articles I read that were just the opposite, that gave me reasons why I should open up a CD. Another article why you should never have a CD. Another why you should have a savings account. Another why you should never have a savings account. And going through article after article, I found and remember, and maybe those of you watching will remember, seeing very few balanced articles that would help me make a decision. Personally, Joe, I don't find it helpful when the article is negative or positive, is one-sided. It doesn't help me. I would prefer the pluses and minuses, benefits versus burdens. Yet TV commercials, articles I read, everything we're inundated. It's one thing to present. I can remember when I was younger, a commercial would present something, and possibly the way the picture was portrayed or the background, it was kind of skewed, but basically it was informational. Well, that disappeared very quickly. And we now have everyone presenting, and we see that in politics. Everything we read condemns them. And it makes it really hard to make decisions. And also, I think what's happening, what's being reflected is we're being polarized. Everything now in politics is the blue states and the red states, and states that want to secede from the union, or part of a state that wants to move to another state. And we are the United States of America, and we are a federation, and all this really doesn't help. But if we bring it back again, I want to make a decision about where to live. I want to make some decisions about where to invest my money. Yet it's really hard to find anything that gives me something that's balanced, that I can go, well, these are the pluses, these are the minuses, this is where it's going, this is where it's not going. And I don't think that's healthy. Not just healthy, I think we're all tired of it.
Well, not only that, but it's dangerous because people will go around and see things on the internet, especially, which is completely unregulated in terms of information. The number of people who've said to me, am I being spied on by TikTok, by the Chinese government? I said, no, you're being spied on by Google. Uh, this, it feeds into our paranoia and it starts becoming an extremely toxic environment for everybody. You're afraid to do anything.
It just makes things much harder for our daily activities and makes us then suspicious of everyone. It's one thing that we should not be leery, but just caveat emptor, but that the buyer beware. Okay, so let the buyer beware. However, this extreme we're watching is actually tearing our country and individuals. We're right back again to we can't have a 4th of July, a Thanksgiving, a Christmas, or a Rosh Hashanah because there are topics we're afraid to bring up, topics we're afraid to talk about.
I am unusually cautious about putting on my Jewish space laser t-shirt these days because I realize that I got a big Jewish star on my chest and I want to be careful where I walk wearing something like that. But it's true. that we need to be more cautious and considering. But what advice can you give us about how to be more positive? What should we not worry so much about?
Each one of us has to read the articles, read the material, and just park away that the writer probably has an agenda and probably may want to sell us something or influence us to vote in a certain way. And the article may purport to be fair or balanced, but we're going to have to use a little seichel. We had a whole session on this, a little of our own intelligence, our own filter, to go, wait a minute, what am I reading? And even though everything is positive or everything's negative, what can I take away from it? What's consistent with how I know the world operates and what I know about my neighbors and friends and people of other religions and nationalities?
Look at the balance, try and maintain it. And if you see the scales tipping too far in one direction, put your finger on the pan and see if you can balance it out. Well, thank you as always, Rabbi, for your wisdom and observations.
And it's always helpful to watch TV stations or read news that we don't normally read. We really have to get away from surrounding ourselves with yes people, with people that agree with our opinion. And I'm only going to watch this channel because the other is wrong. We're not going to know what's going on. There's no way to create the balance without seeing both sides. And then we can create a balance.